Alright, so today is a fun day because not only we're at the range, but this is a new gun day. Um, this is a Bergara B-14R with the steel barrel. I bought this last fall, and Roseanne and I are planning to do our first PRS 22 match with this rifle in a week. And I have not shot any rounds out of this rifle yet, so what I'm going to do is get the scope zeroed, and we're going to try some ammo. This is Norma TAC 22, SK Standard Plus, CCI Standard Velocity, and Federal Auto Match. I've heard good things about the TAC 22, so I'm going to give that a whirl, but I don't really know what any of this other stuff is going to do. So we're going to try a little bit of each and see what happens. First, I gotta zero it at 50 yards, and I guess I'll start out with the Norma TAC 22 and see how that goes. But yeah, it should be fun. It's about time I get this rifle out and start shooting it. So we got some business to do next week. Hopefully that works out well.
far it looks pretty good.
So we're back in my garage again, and we just got back from the range. Like I mentioned in another video about the Bergara HMR Pro that Roseanne was shooting for load development. I also shot the Bergara B-14R. This was the first time that either of us were shooting it, and the main driver for that is next weekend we have a PRS 22 match. So this will be both of our first PRS 22 matches, and that's kind of why I bought this last year, and mainly to do training so I can train with 22 and get a lot of barrel life and still have the wind issues to deal with and learn from that. So this is basically a trainer rifle. At some point I will put a chassis underneath it and maybe upgrade the scope, but for now it's going to be in the production class, or hopefully will be in the production class. So today's objective was to put some rounds through it, get the scope zeroed in at 50 yards with an ammo that I have on hand, and I was going to, hopefully get some good results from. So I had initially taken Norma TAC-22, SK Standard Plus, Federal Auto Match, and CCI Standard. Those four I have quite a bit of, so I was hoping one of those would do well. I had higher hopes for Norma TAC-22 than and SK Standard Plus over the Federal Auto Match and CCI. I've heard quite a few people with the B-14Rs do really well with TAC-22. So I started with those, got the scope zeroed in, and I started shooting some groups with it. So this paper up here with these groups are Norma TAC-22, and these are with the SK Standard Plus. Federal Auto Match down here, and this is a group that Roseanne was shooting after I got done with the TAC-22. But I did 10 initially. I had already put 50 rounds through it, just plinking at another target, and so there's already seasoning in the barrel from the lubrication from the TAC-22. So I just shot another 10 right off the bat, and then don't know what happened here, but I started focusing on the shooting better, and I also did another adjustment on the scope to bring the zero up, and then that's where I left it for this group and that group. These two last groups with the TAC-22 I was very pleased with. I didn't measure them. I'm not really concerned with that right now. But then I got the SK Standard Plus, and I shot some groups with that. It was okay, but I was more pleased with the Norma TAC-22, so I ended that. And the range was getting really full by this time and later in the day, so I, just for shits and giggles, I tried some with the Federal Auto Match, and that didn't really pan out too well. I didn't do normally people say shoot 20 rounds through it before you really start to look at group sizes. I didn't do that here, but I've already found the TAC-22 does pretty well for my needs, so I'm just going to stick with the TAC-22. I didn't even bother. Maybe some other day we'll take Federal Auto Match and CCI Standard back out and give it a better effort. As well with the SK Standard Plus, I might try to find more of that. I don't really have a whole lot of it, but maybe I'll do that in a future video. But for now, for the immediate future with our needs for shooting next week at this PRS match, the Norma TAC-22 is going to be what we shoot, and it should do well as long as we can shoot off the props. This is going to be a completely different style of shooting with the 22s. Not completely different, but it's going to be different just because you don't have a whole lot of recoil, but you still have wind to deal with, so it should be fun at any rate. So stay tuned for that video too. You get to see both of us actually competing instead of just me. So
he's gonna do better though.
I don't know. This is a different rifle. It should be pretty good. So anyway, stay tuned for the next adventure. That'll be fun.